Breath in through the nose. And out with a sigh.
Ironically, for a sphere where the term self-crit is so popular, the left wing has a serious inability to handle criticism. Several left tubers are now trying to tackle this, but some of those attempts have shown that condemnation of cancel culture can be used to shield oneself from valid complaints. The gist of all these videos is that leftists and social interaction among leftists are not immune to the competition and exclusion mechanisms of capitalism, which often leads to a toxic culture where everyone is looking to be the most victimized, exploiting that victimhood for social capital, and cancelling others for the slightest misstep to climb over that carcass and get higher in the social pyramid, instead of actually fighting for no one to be victimized. So far, so good. These ideas are pertinent, and they're also not new. In 1995, Wendy Brown was already presenting them in States of Injury. How does a sense of woundedness become the basis for a sense of identity? However, opposition to punitive leftism is sometimes taken beyond its validity and used to excuse actually intolerant or harmful behavior. A classic example is that of brocialists claiming feminism undermines left unity, especially when it involves fighting sexism perpetrated by leftist men. Other examples have been recently seen on the online leftist community. Peter Coffin took his experience being the target of a smear campaign as the basis for a critique of cancel culture. Right around the time he was being asked to stop associating with someone repeatedly and credibly accused of various types of abuse, including rape. It's terrible that 8 years of Peter's life were consumed by relentless rumors that made him unemployable and traumatized. I can't speak for other people's demands, but I would think it fair if he didn't want to get involved with a situation that reminds him of his own trauma, someone being widely accused of something online. As he says in his video,
if evidence of a power dynamic is not apparent, maybe it's a good time to take a back seat in the discussion. Otherwise, you may end up making biased judgments based on who appeals to your beliefs or aesthetics, or even simply who is mean to you and who is nice to you. Maybe it's not actually your place.
Try to make it a point to actually spend time on these things if you're going to involve yourself in one of these issues, and if you're not going to, maybe just don't.
But he hasn't been acting in accordance with those words. If you know you are biased, don't get involved. And if you're not going to involve yourself, then don't. If you're not going to involve yourself, distance yourself from the matter. Do not have the accused as mod in your chat. If you're not going to involve yourself, do not have a stream where you laugh it all off and act like the accusations are definitely just call-out culture hysteria and not something to be worried about.
I don't believe that person, I'm sorry to say.
As Peter and Angie insisted they were not going to pick sides.
It's not cut and dry. Therefore,
no.
This is me saying I don't fucking know.
I don't want to fucking deal with this.
Yet made light of all the accusations, they forgot that not taking sides includes acknowledging the possibility that there really is a rapist who was mod in that stream. What if that is the truth? Also, maybe don't double down on being a dick to someone who is talking to you in good faith.
I'm gonna do exactly what got me fucking like screen capped in that fucking Discord. Fuck off. Fuck the fuck off. If you aren't part of this, you're a fucking terrible person. You're a rape apologist. You're no, fuck off. Fuck off. And this is what I meant by fuck off when I told that person that fucking Discord to fuck off. Fuck off.
I mean, I'm the queen of treating people badly when I'm upset. But you know, hey, Anarcha Witch, you inadvertently reminded me of some shit I've been through, so don't do that again. But sorry I was rude to you in the heat of the moment, you didn't deserve it. Treating people badly in the heat of the moment also applies to Angie, who has recently criticized cancel culture herself. She was in that stream because she did a collaboration with Peter, which got her harassed and labeled a rape apologist for working with him. Here we do have an instance of the punitive mentality going too far, and I do not endorse what was done to Angie whatsoever, but we'll get to that later. First, I do need to point out how uncannily her own attitudes embodied what she had said we needed to avoid, as her completely valid anger at being harassed devolved into unjustified lashing out. Claiming to not want to take sides, Angie mocked the concerns of those making the abuse accusations.
I'm also tired of this fucking weak-ass, fucking lily-livered ass affect on the left. You know what? We're fucking fighting a war against capitalism and in some cases the state. And you want to, and like, oh my God, you think that you're talking to a bunch of fucking grandmas sometimes, people who just like a strong gust of wind is enough to unsettle them. We need to
take brittle spirits.
Yeah, brittle spirits. It's
And
tragic.
you know how mad
Tragic,
that's gonna make somebody so mad. Brittle spirits. How dare she? How dare she?
I don't care.
I am not a brittle
care.
spirit.
Like, most of these people are fucking white people that haven't like been through shit, haven't been through like I don't talk about my story. I don't talk about you know, the things that I've been through, because I'm not trying to extract social capital or like sympathy brownie points from that shit. But like, I've seen some shit in my life. I've seen some shit in my life for no other reason than the color of this, okay?
Yeah.
I have seen some fucking shit. And some of the thing that these people complain about makes me absolutely angry. It just makes me mad. It makes me so angry. Because I'm like, really? This is what's unsettled your day? This is what's making you fucking triggered? Are you fucking serious?
On top of that, when some chatters asked her not to trivialize the word triggered, she took great offense for 16 minutes, unjustly projecting all her grievances onto that person.
Perhaps there's a thing where sometimes when people are actually like seriously upset, like they might say things that you don't like because they themselves are having a problem.
I honestly don't care. Like, there are certain things that you should just fucking let slide sometimes. Not everything is a fucking hill to die on. Like, literally, as a Black woman, if I got my knickers in a twist every single time someone said something that was a little bit iffy, I would be a tired ass bitch. There's some things you just gotta let slide sometimes. Like, it's not every time. Ugh, I don't know, man.
Who is a human being? Who is?
I said the word triggered. Exactly. I said the word. You need to get over yourself. You need to get over yourself. Okay. I said the word triggered. Okay. So that means cancel the Black woman. She said the word triggered. Nobody's ever going to be perfect. Nobody's ever going to meet your standards of fucking purity. And if you're going to get rid of comrades because of that, then you're no comrade of mine, and you can fuck off. Like, I'm not going to fucking say sorry. Did what I said?
There's no consider.
Did it hurt you that much?
There's no
Like,
consideration of context.
It's gotten to the point that even just saying a fucking word like that is enough to completely derail a conversation. Are you fucking serious? Like, there are worse things that could be said and didn't really genuinely hurt you. Like, this is the kind of shit that I'm talking about. It's corrosive. It's fucking corrosive. It annoys me because it like unpersons you, number one. And also that whole like exceptional Black shit, the Black representative shit, is the very thing that fucking derails the mental health of like so many Black creatives. Like, get the fuck over yourself. Get the fuck over yourself. Have you lost your fucking mind? That you're gonna now fucking hassle me over using the fucking word triggered in a context that made you feel uncomfortable? Like, you know, why can't I be human? Why do I have to be perfect all the time? Productive conversations get derailed because the purity police enter the conversation and they're like, you didn't say this quite right. You must do penance.
It's like the brutalist dynamic, only instead of sexism being dismissed in favor of class, it's ableism being dismissed in favor of race. Not flying in the face of intersectionality is the least the leftists can do. Let's remember woman of color Audre Lorde's famous essay, "There is no hierarchy of oppressions." The chatter was not derailing. They had every right to feel uncomfortable, and they expressed that politely. Nobody wanted Angie cancelled because of that. Nobody was denying her humanity or demanding perfection. She was the one who made her ableism a hill to die on. When again, why not say, my bad, it slipped out because I'm angry, but I didn't mean it. I actually liked what she said about how we should be able to be honest about our negative side, but I interpreted that as being open about our flaws so we can help each other minimize them, and not going full edgelord at the slightest disapproval. Angie had truly been victimized by the harassers, but she extrapolated that into oppressing others, when just a week ago she was saying this.
It is almost impossible to criticize a victim without looking like you're further contributing to their victimization, even if you have valid questions to ask. This creates a class of people that are immune to critique, and this is incredibly dangerous. It also creates a class of people that will shout you down if you dare question a motive that you perceive to be unsavory.
Does this mean Peter and Angie are hypocrites and monsters who must be punished, cancelled, deplatformed, left with no income, be harassed, slandered, receive dox threats, and have their accounts hacked like has been done to Angie? No, please stop that. I agree they have done wrong, but this is completely disproportionate and counterproductive. This is not going to help support victims of abuse or prevent future harm. In this case, what Peter said does apply.
Punishment doesn't change things. There's a wealth of research on many different groups from children to adults that suggests people are less likely to make choices we consider positive after being punished. Punishment, intentionally or not, asks the punished to internalize the idea they are a bad person. Someone who considers themselves a bad person, regardless of what level it is on, is more likely to repeat what has been deemed bad behavior.
Harassing Angie won't make her change her ways. It'll make her see herself as a naughty leftist.
Well, I'm more than happy to be in the leftist naughty corner.
And have no shame in saying ableist things. It will put her on the defensive, eliminating any prospect of showing her she was wrong. Do you want people who fuck up to stop fucking up and become positive to society instead? Or do you want to be a right-winger seeking to fill up jail cells? On my part, I'm not doing this video because I want anyone to be punished. Quite the opposite. I'm doing this because I don't want abuse survivors to feel unsafe in Peter's community. I don't want Angie's audience to be encouraged to disrespect the mentally ill. And I don't want the extremely destructive punitivist system we live under to replicate itself in leftist circles. As has been horrifically demonstrated, we're all human, we all live under capitalism, and we all might become its tools. If we want to avoid that, we need to learn to separate call-out culture and valuable critique. We need to learn to give constructive criticism and take constructive criticism. That's what comrades should be for.
Finally, one more deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth.